I don't know what got into me that I thought that like I couldn't just do what I normally do and then just put it out here and just be like, okay, girl, they gonna like it. Like, stop overthinking and stop worrying about what other people doing and just do what you know best. And that's this. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Makeup by Sunrise. I know it's been a long time since you guys see me. I filmed a little makeup tutorial here. However, it's very chaotic, okay? Disclaimer warning right here. I got a little shy. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I forgot how to get in front of the camera long form and like literally interact with you guys. Like, it's been so long, but I'm so happy that I kicked off my fear that I have of coming back on YouTube this way and just doing what I do. So if you want to see more, keep watching. If you hear like background stuff going on, it's because I live in New York. Like, it is what it is. You hear a siren, you hear a fire truck, you hear the bus stop, you hear people shouting. Like, that's what you're gonna get right now. You see what I mean? Right on time. It's like they knew. I just made the announcement for them. Anyway, I haven't been up here. Like, I haven't done like a long form video, I think in 2 years or over 2 years now. But my most recent uploads have been in my shorts. I've still been doing like a little bit of makeup here and there, but not like at the pace that I was doing it when I first started YouTube. And I've been posting kind of like some concert stuff. Like, at this point, I'm gonna just post what I want to post and stop trying to keep up with the trends, because I low-key kind of feel like that's what kind of, you know, made me take a pause along with some other stuff that was going on in my life. But look at me just rambling off and I'm not even doing nothing. So anywho, let's get started. So I'm going to start out with, well, I actually already started, kind of wash my face, and I put on some moisturizer. So the moisturizer that I use is, I always get it from Sephora. This is the Fresh Rose Deep Hydration Face Cream. So I have that on already and it's dried out. You always want to make sure your face is moisturized before you put on your makeup. And then I follow it up with primer. My favorite primer that I've been using is the One Size Secure the Sweat Dry Till Dawn primer. Don't mind how it looks so crinkly, but this is what I've been using. I'm gonna start out with this much, and I take my my middle finger and my ring finger on both hands, and I spread it out just like so, like I'm doing here, kind of warm it up. And then I place it here in my T-zone where most of my pores will show, on my nose. Bring it down where my smile lines will be at and over the top of my lip. So this helps to like just blur this part of your makeup, especially in the smile lines area, because sometimes my makeup cracks right there because I smile a lot. I be laughing. The shit be funny. Life be funny. If only y'all knew the stuff. So once you're done putting that on, right, and you kind of clear it up, I'm gonna let this dry down for like a minute or probably less than a minute. But you want to make sure that it's fully dry and it's still not wet, because you want it to be tacky so that when you do put on your foundation, you don't get like those little you know, sometimes like when you put on foundation and you see it kind of moving and it has like those little stubby pieces, you like, wait a minute, why is this like this? And you got to start all over. That's what I want to avoid. Okay, so let me put this cover back on. But yeah, y'all, I have been through some stuff. So basically what I was talking about a while ago about like the trends and stuff, and kind of like the reason why I took a break or a step back or whatever you want to call it. I was getting too caught up in like trying to like fit in with the trends of like what kind of makeup to do, or like what transitions in your, you know, the quick videos, and it's like I cannot keep up. Like, realistically, that's not me. Like, I lost my true vision as to why I started a YouTube page. Like, I was basically the person that was like, all right, I'm not gonna do this because I see how other people fall into the same trap, and I don't want to do that. And then I end up falling into the same trap. So it's like, how you talk yourself out or into this mess? Anywho, you know what? I actually should take this sweater off because I don't want to get foundation or my setting powder on it. So I feel like my primer has dried up enough. So now I'm gonna go in with my Fenty Beauty foundation, the soft lit hydrating foundation in the shade number 445. Now I remember one time I thought I didn't have this foundation, and I did, and I ended up buying a second bottle. Well, didn't this come in handy? Ooh. All right, so what I normally do is just apply pump on my face, but I went back to my old ways of how I used to do my makeup because I noticed I was applying too much of my foundation on my face. And I was wondering why I was having trouble with my makeup. So, same thing like with the primer. I'm going to put some on my fingers and I'm just going to pump it around. So, do like this. Start at the base of my face because that's where your foundation does lie initially. You don't want to put too much. Get my nose above my lip. I always be forgetting right there. Right? And I'm going to stop here for right now. And then I'm going to add some more because I want to just gauge how much foundation I really need to put on and just move it around. Okay? So now I'm going, and the excess foundation I had on my finger, I just wipe it on my clean blend now. I was about to say brush, but this is clearly a sponge, beauty sponge. So I normally just do this, move my foundation around in a circular motion because I feel like this is the best technique to like spread it evenly. And even if like there's some little patches, I can go back in with some more foundation in those places and then just even it out. Instead of me just doing like what I would normally do and then have issues blended it out later. You want to get underneath, and by the ear. I always do this by the ear, underneath my chin on the sides. So you want to blend with your actual skin color. See? Now, I know some people be like, oh, they don't put foundation on their forehead. I do. I just don't put a lot. Because obviously, your makeup is mostly, I feel like most of your makeup is down here. Right? You're hardly ever going to touch your forehead. Right? Or the occasional, like sometimes when like the makeup is so good, you just, wherever you at, you have vibing, having a good time. Sometimes you be like, oh, snap. You do a little scratch or a little pat, you know? And that happens. And that is okay because then we could touch it up. So, I don't know if y'all can see, I have a little dark spot here from when I had a pimple. Watch when I blend this out, you ain't gonna see that at all. I feel like I need a little bit right here. And I'll put the rest right there. Okay. So I'm gonna start here with that little bit. Now I'm gonna go on my forehead. Same circular motions. Just moving the foundation around. Same here on my sides. And blending it down to where I have the rest of the foundation. Notice that I'm not going towards like the inner corner by the inner corners of my eyes because I want to leave that area for my concealer. I don't want to put too much makeup there because then it gets cakey and it gets creasy. right? So nice even coverage all over. And it still feels like, it literally feels like I just have on like a tinted brown bronzer or just light foundation. Like, oh my god, I just realized I didn't do my eyebrows. How I just started and didn't do that. So let me go back, because this is how you could tell I haven't done this in front of the camera in so long, because the way how I do my makeup, I always do my eyebrows first, and then obviously when I put on my foundation and the powders and stuff, some parts of my eyebrows would kind of like get a little blurred in there, and I'll go back in with my pencil and just, fix it up. So the fact that I just put on a whole bunch of foundation and didn't do my eyebrows is crazy. It's crazy. So this is a tip. Do the eyebrows before you put on the foundation. You can actually do the eyebrows while your primer is drying. Cause that's when I normally would do that. Okay, so I'm actually going to continue because I have concealer that I'm going to put on, and I want it to sit a little bit, and I could do my eyebrows while that does that. So now I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty concealer in 445 again. So same shade color, but I just want you guys to pay attention to the placement of where I'm putting it. So first things first, I'm going to start here, like at the middle part of my eye and coming out, right? I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to go back in. I want to make sure I'm going down the bridge of my nose. So I start right here from like the smallest point of my nose bridge, and I make a line coming down my nose. Now it's not the most perfect line, but it's just a little something, something. We want to do here on the forehead, above the lip. I hope my camera does not turn off, because I just seen it says something and I don't know what that means. Take a little bit this off here on the chin, just like we did on the forehead. Okay. Now I'm gonna go in with a brightening concealer. This is the Sephora Collection brand of Bright Future. This is, I don't remember. Okay, I think I took off the whatchamacallit, the sticker. But basically, this is a brightening concealer. So obviously you don't want to put it all the way out, but it's your prerogative of however you want to do your makeup. I usually just put this on the inner corner because it's a couple shades lighter than me. So I just put this here to brighten up the inner corner of my eyes, because I have a lot of dark circles, because your girl just be up late at night watching YouTube videos, watching Netflix, like, and I have to come up off of that, but hey, I'm human. I like my shows, okay? I like my Law and Order. I like my Will Trent. I like what's another show that I be watching? Oh, I love my Ratchet TV, my Love and Hip Hop. Okay. I like to watch those shows. 'Cause, in the daytime, working, you don't get to see those shows often. So that be my little late night guilty pleasure. So I'm trying to look at you guys in the camera. I have a bigger mirror right here, and I have this little one. So normally when I do my eyebrows, I use this one because I like to be up close so I can see exactly what I'm doing. So I actually forgot to mention, this is the NYX Cosmetics micro brow pencil, the crayon. Yeah, micro brow pencil. I don't know why I was trying to read French just now. And this is in the color black. This is my go-to. Like, I don't use nothing else for my eyebrows. This is it right here. So I'm gonna use the end with the spoolie to lift my brows, right? And then the other end that has the actual pencil, that's what I'm gonna use to fill in my brows. And I'm just following the outline of my natural brow shape at the top and the bottom. And then I just go in and fill in the little sparse places of my eyebrow with the pencil. I'm gonna now blend out my concealer. I'm gonna start off with the placing that I did with the Fenty concealer, and then I'm gonna blend out the Sephora one. Okay, so first I'm gonna start with my chin, my forehead, because those are the two spaces that have the most least concealer that I apply. Then I'm gonna go under my eye from the middle out, over my lip, down my nose, and then inner corner. I hope you guys just follow along. It sounds a little funny the way how I worded it, but you'll get it once you see how I do it. So I want to blend this out. Same for my forehead. Yeah, so I was get too caught up in like just trying to like see what's gonna go viral instead of me just doing me and creating what I want to create. I was falling into a pattern that didn't necessarily fit me. So now that I've recognized that and journaled and just got back to the basics of why I wanted to do makeup, I feel fine now. I feel just fine. And I hope you guys are, you know, enjoying or have enjoyed my content. All right, so now that I've blended out my concealer, I'm gonna use some setting powder right now. So the setting powder that I use is the Laura Mercier setting powder in translucent medium deep. So what I like to do is just turn it over into the lid here. I'm gonna take a clean sponge that's damp, and I'm gonna pack it. Well, not pack it, pat the sponge in there. And then I'm gonna pat it in the middle of my palm just like this to get off some of the excess and just smooth it out before I put it underneath my eyes. So if there's any like little patches and stuff or imperfections, it doesn't go on, it doesn't transfer to my face. So now I need to look up. So let me get my little smaller mirror. And I see some creasing already, so hold on. So this is important. If you see a little bit of creasing of your concealer, go back in with the sponge that you used to put on your concealer. That should still be damp. And just blend that out and then put your powder. So you get that self together. And you want to press the powder in underneath your eye. So I'm starting from the inner corner all the way out, and then I start pressing down along the side of my nose, along the top of my cheekbone. And I want to press into the corner of my nose right here because there's still concealer and foundation there that's wet. And you want to make sure that you're blending here. So I'm going to do the same process all over again under this eye and the rest of my face. So please just follow along. So same process. Get more powder, look up, press the powder, right? Press and move swiftly. Softly as well. You don't want to make this a rough process because obviously you're working on your face. And that should be the start of your blurring effect. So now that you've done under your eye, you want to work on all the areas where you put your concealer, okay? So same process, step and repeat. Okay, so now for my favorite part, now that I've blurred my face, all the areas where I put my concealer, this is my favorite part. this is what I do when I want to, I guess you could say, contour my nose. So I go with the very tip of the sponge. I don't know why I keep wanting to say brush. There's something wrong with me right now. And I make sure I put enough powder on it. And now I'm going to go down the very bridge of my nose. So I'm going to try to show you as accurate as possible. Actually, I should turn this way. Yeah. So basically the same way how I applied the concealer down my nose is the way how I'm applying the setting powder. And I want this to be a clear distinction of where the center of my nose bridge is, so that when I do move on to my bronzing powder, I go on the sides of it. Yep, just like that. Okay, so now that we're done with the powder, and you also want to make sure you keep some paper towels just around, because the powder, baby, getting all over the place. All over the place. So now I'm going to use my Black Radiance Contour palette from dark to medium. And I use the shade that's in the middle, which is the Sculptor shade. And I'm going to use this little, this is like a blending brush, but I use it specifically for my nose. So I just basically do this, tap off whatever excess is there, and I'm going to go down the sides of my nose just like this with a very, very light touch. Going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Do a little curved swoop here. Same thing on the other side. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And bring that little swoop here. So it's kind of like I'm rounding out the bottom of my nose while elongating the rest of my nose bridge. So this is how I get my little fake pinched nose. And I normally just do one of these, like blend the bronzer. I don't know why I said what word is that? I just take it up to the, what is this part of my eye called? Like the shadowing effect. So like bringing up your bronzer up into your eyebrows, and kind of like a base for your eyeshadow. And you want to use circular motions. Everything, this part, you want to make it soft and not harsh. Because you want it to stand out, but you don't want it to look like, ooh, girl. Like, we know you got on makeup, but damn, we don't want it to look like that. Okay, so I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to go back and use the same middle color. Now I'm going to do for my cheeks and around my face. So this is a powder brush from e.l.f. Cosmetics. You don't have to use the same one, but this is what I do. So I'm going back into this, and I make sure that my powder brush is fully coated like this. And I'm going to tap off whatever excess is on there, because I don't, you know. And then here's my little tricky trick. So I want a scoop here on this part of my cheekbone in the same here. But what I normally do is this. So I'm just gonna use half, like 1/2 of brush here for this side and this side. And I'm blending upward. So see? And this is the way how I gauge how much powder I'm putting on, and making sure that I'm not putting on too much that it looks so harsh and so dark. I want my face to look warm, but I don't want it to look red. Okay? I'm gonna do the same thing again. And you always want to make sure you're moving with like a light hand and light touches, because you can always go back and add more. If you go in with a heavy hand and you're just you can't fix it, you know? So you want to make sure you're doing things lightly and you move smoothly. And then whatever's left, I normally just do this here on my chin, coming down my neck, just like that. So it's like you have setting powder for your concealer and then bronzer for the outside of your face where the rest of your foundation sits, so that it's not moving. And you're also contouring your face at the same time. And then I just like to do this. I don't know, I think it helps. This is just me. That's what I do. Okay. So now that we've got hair, I am going to use an angle blush brush for my finishing powder. Now you do not want to see this because this thing is all cracked up, baby. But I'm going in with the Black Radiance finishing powder in, this is in mahogany, rich mahogany. And I do the same thing. Tap my brush in the powder, tap off the excess, okay? And now I'm gonna go in and on top and just make some light, now idle motions to kind of like soften and blend out the bronzer in case I was a little heavy-handed, and just kind of just give it a smooth finish. And you always want to move upward when you're working on your cheeks. Okay, and that's that. Now I don't necessarily always use blush, but I am practicing to use what I have, because I be buying things and then it be like, ah. So like again, like I said before with the trend stuff, this is a orange blush that I'm gonna be using from this Doja Cat and BH Cosmetics collab that was sold in Ulta Beauty like a while back. This is the orange shade that I'm gonna be using. It's really pretty. This is how it looks. Tap off the excess, and now when you're applying blush, you want to make go in an upwards motion, okay? So just like this. So basically right on like the ball of your cheek. That's where you want to apply your blush and blend it up to the forehead. And when I think of like blush, I always envision like what you call it, 80s makeup, like with David Bowie, and like how his blush was always just like, wow. Now I'm not gonna do that because like I said, that's just not me. Maybe if I was to do like a retro kind of 80s makeup, then yeah, maybe I would tap into it, because I do have a liquid blush from Rare Beauty. I have to look for that actually. I know I have it, I just gotta look for it. Maybe I'll do something with that. Okay. All right. I think that's enough. All right. So now, this is my favorite day part. I cannot do my makeup without highlight. So this little strip that I have here in the middle of my nose, I'm going to take this contour brush from Real Techniques, and this is my remove my setting powder brush. Right, so I'm just tapping and pressing that powder in, and whatever else is here. Press, 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 blend, blend, blend. soft, smooth finish blur. Okay, blur. All right. So now this is a blending brush, but this is like an angle blending brush. What is up with my words that I'm using? So it has like this little tip here. So I'm going to use, this is Haus Labs. This is the Bio Radiant Gel Powder Highlighter in Fire Opal from, well, I should say by Lady Gaga. Okay, it's that little orangey stuff. This looks so good. So I'm just gonna do just like this. Go over. And then I'm gonna hit the highest point of my nose bridge right there. Bam. The tip of my nose. Right? My upper lip. My chin, little something right underneath my brow right here. It's something about just doing this. Okay? Now, I wouldn't use this, but you can use this just to go on if you like. If you're someone that doesn't like a lot of highlighter, you can use this and just put it on small amounts. But I love highlighter. So I'm going to use this bronzing blush. The one that I use to put the blush on, I'm going to use the sides of it. Because around here, we use up our brushes. Like, I got a bunch of stuff here. But sometimes it's like, I don't want to pull out a different brush for everything. Like, I'm going to wash these anyway. So, working on the sides of my face on an angle, light motions. Okay, you're applying it really lightly because you want to build. You don't just want to slap it on. You want to build your highlight. So, depending on where you at and you do one of these, you glowing, baby. Yeah. There you go. Eating. You see that? My favorite part in doing makeup, just that. And I always get so many compliments on my highlighter. They be like, girl, what is that? I be like, what's this? So that is that, and that goes right there. All right, so is that it for the face? I'm actually gonna fix up my eyebrows. So this is what I was talking about filling in my eyebrows a little bit later, because sometimes it gets a little lost behind the powder after I set my face. So this is just me just going back over what I did early on. I'm going to set my face with setting spray. So normally I have my Smashbox Cosmetics setting spray, but I just realized that it's discontinued. Like, I went into Sephora and I realized, I was like, where's Smashbox Cosmetics? I didn't know that they discontinued it. So that means that one bottle that I had that I finished a while ago, that's it. So if you guys know anywhere where I can get that setting spray, and specifically I don't remember like the full name of it, but I can describe it to you. It's in like a silvery gray bottle with the black cap top. Love that down. You hear me? Smashbox Cosmetics, because then it just basically rehydrates the face while still keeping the makeup intact. So in the meantime, until I can find that, I'm gonna be using the Urban Decay All Nighter hyaluronic acid and watermelon fruit extract long lasting makeup setting spray. I feel like this kind of gives the same effect. See? So look at that. Wet my face down with that and let it dry. I'm gonna go in with a little Tyasia XXIV Cosmetics palette. I've had this for a while. Shout out to my girl Tyasia. I don't know if she's still in the makeup community or here on YouTube, but if you are, sister, I love you. I still use your palette to this day. Like, you did your big one, okay? So first things first, I'm gonna use this eyeshadow brush here, and I'm gonna use this burgundy shade right here. I'm gonna start on the outer corners of my eyes. So very much just tapping on the color here. This is not like a big eyeshadow look. This is just a little something something. Cause this is exactly what I did when I went out the other night. I just wanted a little bit of color because I had on a denim jumpsuit that was like kind of acid wash, but it had like a little bit of flecks of color in it, and I wanted to incorporate that in my makeup. So this is what I did. So yeah, I'm gonna go in this like C-shaped motion, going into the crease, a little bit over my crease, I should say. Alright. So that's the first color I'm putting down. I'm only gonna be using 2 shades. So this is this first like burgundy maroonish plum color that I'm using on the outer corners of my eyes. And I'm gonna use a different brush, and I'm gonna go into this this is like a rusted orange color shade here. Oh, come on now, don't do that. You're gonna show the people the palette right here. Yeah, there we go, right there. And now I'm gonna go into the inner corners of my eyes. So I'm gonna look down, and I'm gonna blend that to the middle where I have the burgundy shade. So I'm gonna blend from my inner corner up my crease and then across the actual lid, pack it in the color, and if there's any empty spaces, I'm gonna go back and fill it in. And I'm just patting this color on, not in a swiping motion, because I feel like when you pat, you have a better color payoff. Yep. I want to blend out the corners because I want a smooth edge look right here. So I'm not going to put anything on this brush. This is a Fluffy Eye Blender by e.l.f. Cosmetics. I'm actually just going to do right on the edge of this burgundy and just use the pointed tip and on the side a little bit to just make circular motions and soften the edges right here. Because like I said, I did pack it on in like a C-shaped color, so I just want to soften that. Okay, let's see my big mirror down here. If this looks okay. Yep. Now, when I did this makeup the other night, I forgot to add the inner corner color, that like orangey highlight, and I didn't use it, but I figure let me add it now with this. Ooh. Okay, yep, that's it. Now, this is the shimmery orange that's right here, that I'm going to use my pinky to just swatch that really quick, and I'm just going to put that on the inner corner of my eye and just brighten this up a little bit here. Ooh. Yep. Now I'm going to put on some black eyeliner on the waterline. This is the CoverGirl Perfect Blend black eyeliner pencil. We'll use the smaller pen. And this is just to intensify the eye look. Okay. Now I want to add a little bit of burgundy up underneath here. Just, just a touch. A little bit. Not too much, because I don't want to look like a raccoon. But just a touch, a little bit. Just to tie in the look from the top to the bottom. And do the same for the orange. Okay, so now I need to add my little wing eyeliner and some mascara. Simple. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. liquid black eyeliner and the Maybelline Illegal Length Fiber Extensions mascara, and that's it for the eye look. I'm going to come back and do my lip combo, well, show you my lip combo, and then that's practically it. And put on my matte setting spray, and we good to go. Here's the lip combo. I use the NYX Cosmetics lip pencil liner in Espresso, and then I have this Ruby Kisses style pencil liner in dark brown. So here's the trick. So when you first apply it, I put Espresso here in the middle, so like from my Cupid's bow, and then right here, and then I put the dark brown on the outer corners, right? Nothing special, just want to create some little bit of depth. So then after I do that, I go in with the Revlon lipstick in the color Rum Raisin, and it's this pretty like mauvey burgundy color. If you guys remember when Meg Thee Stallion had a collaboration with Revlon, this was one of the lipstick colors that was in the advertisement, in the campaign or whatever, so I got that. Now, after I put that on, so that's basically lip liner and lipstick. Here's the gag or the trick. I went in with the NYX Cosmetics Soft Matte Lip Cream in London, which is like a nudie color, and I put it right in the center of my bottom lip, and then I just blot it out, so just to lighten the Rum Raisin just a touch. And then for my lip glosses, I use two. So these are the NYX Cosmetics Butter Gloss. So I use the color Ginger Snap on. I used it basically like I'm retracing the lip liner that I had on with the dark brown in the espresso color with this is Ginger Snap. And then on top of the lipstick, I put Praline. Okay, so it gives this nice like brownish pinkish kind of like nude. I just feel like it tied into the eye shadow makeup really nicely. Like they complement one another a lot. And then I set my face with the Holy Grail. Now, if you're going out, you know, like you're going to a party, you're gonna sweat a little bit, this is what you want to put on. This here, One Size Until Dawn Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. Now this holds everything. Like your makeup's not gonna move at all. Like you're gonna sweat, but your makeup's still gonna be in there. Like there's no cracks, no leakage, no nothing. That's what you want to put on. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, thank you, thank you, thank you. Give me a thumbs up. Hype up this video to share this video with everybody that you know, because there's more to come. Okay, period. I have a concert that I'm going to this Friday, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get some footage for y'all and the 1-2. And I got a couple of other events that I'm going to by the end of the month around Memorial Day weekend. And y'all would, and what, trust me, y'all gonna love that material that's coming, okay? I cannot wait. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.